Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Ripple helped shovel 156.3 million XRP as coin rises 6%. I tell you, I'm always, what the hell? You know, we're not selling any programmatic sales on the secondary market, right? They tell us, right? But we're buying back off of the secondary market when we feel necessary. And yet, Whale Alert has published 6 tweets showing that 127 million plus in XRP has been shifted by Ripple Labs and several anonymous wallets that have proved to set up popular crypto trading venues, according to data shared by BitHump and XRP-focused data platform. In particular, Ripple Giant has sent 20 million XRP to Coins.ph exchange headquartered in the Philippines and operating as one of Ripple's on-demand liquidity corridors. So there you see, feeding the ODL beast. We're going to touch on that before we get out of here today, too. The dispute between cryptocurrency exchange Binance and Ontario's financial regulator has concluded, with the company formally agreeing to cease operations in the Canadian province. We'll keep you posted if anything else opens up from there. This is a reminder right here. Which one would you choose? Look at the cost of these gas fees to use each of these networks. I know I'm down here in the XRP XLM range. Those are the networks I'm going to want to use. Pretty simple. But watch what happens here as we go through this, because Hall of Famer Michael tells us, though the hashtag has existed on social media since last year, the past several days have seen ETHgate 2022 gaining significant traction, and with its $400 billion market capitalization, Ethereum is now worth almost 6 times more than Enron ever was. You know, I can actually say I believe I take credit for that ETHgate tag, because I remember when Digital Asset Investor really started to carry the flame on this thing and inspired me to get involved as well. I was like, this is just like Watergate, only it's ETHgate, and look at what's happening now. Look, NASDAQ is deep into this. Thomas Young writes here, ETHgate 2022 Ethereum scandal. XRP investors calling it bigger than Enron, and it is. Quickly, I'm going to move through this. So here, I've been warning investors October Fed Jerome Powell was taking away the punch bowl as we enter late innings in the crypto bull run. It's time to selectively take profits. It says here, but the market volatility has also hidden another trend. It says here, ETHgate, though hashtag has existed since last year, it goes through here. It says, what is ETHgate? ETHgate is conspiracy theory that Ethereum received a free pass from regulators. These critics reasonably claim that the SEC Commission allowed Ethereum to move ahead while doling out harsher treatment to XRP and other rivals, which is true. And this is, I'm just going to give you pieces of this now. Ethereum whales could have possibly created multiple fake identities and accounts. They are hearing us, ladies and gentlemen. We got to continue to pound the ground. This is NASDAQ.com, where this is written and posted here. They are hearing this, and they are validating that this is really there. pointing out the disguised whales video. It goes on here, is ETHgate real? The theory does have some merit. This article is really giving us our due here, ladies and gentlemen. And it's talking here, it even goes on to say, in the short run, ETHgate will have little effect on the world's second largest cryptocurrency. SEC Director William Hemman announced in 2018 that regulators would not treat Ether or Bitcoin as securities. SEC Gary Gensler and his predecessor Jay Clayton have been hamstrung ever since, which is true. It goes longer term, however, public anger could turn the legislative tide. Congress introduced 35 cryptocurrency-focused bills in 21. Anyone who's traded Ethereum is intimately acquainted with the ridiculous fees and protocol can charge. Telling you. Those looking to buy $500 worth of Ethereum tokens or an NFT can easily spend $120 or more on gas fees. God bless this guy for writing this and getting it in NASDAQ, on NASDAQ's platform. Before losing another 3 to 4% in slippage, it says here, what does ETHgate mean for XRP holders? SEC has struggled to make a strong case against XRP, particularly given its previous classification of Bitcoin and Ethereum as non-securities. Multiple spokespeople for the SEC have since done an about-face. Says, I don't want to be overly technical, but there is no action that the SEC took to say Bitcoin is not a security. Ether is not a security. The SEC lawyer said earlier this year the lack of enforcement action has since sent XRP to a nascent recovery of 130% since last year. Though ETHgate won't directly impact XRP prices, it underscores the uphill battle the SEC now faces in proving wrongdoing by Ripple Labs. So it goes on here and it says here, Ethereum Gate is still a small movement on the fringes of social media. Many allegations revolve around insider dealings early on when Ethereum traded under $1, but anger on social media has a habit of snowballing, and ETHgate highlights some well-founded reasons, for anger. I closed out my PAL Focus newsletter October warning to the investors, those expecting the 2021 style returns on Bitcoin next year should reconsider the odds. With inflation expectations rising, it's only a matter of time before the Fed ends the show. Now the lawmakers on Capitol Hill are turning their attention to crypto, and it's only a matter of time before the lowest quality coins see their day of reckoning too. Make sure you know what you hold. ETHgate is very real. I tell you, it is getting even bigger by the day. Take a look at this, the latest update in the Ripple versus SEC here. We see that the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission has filed its opposition to Ripple's motion to strike Albert Metz's supplemental expert report. Now, I shared this also yesterday really quickly, was this right here with that news, and I shared this information here that was sent to me. Dr. Metz is the securities and finance expert with deep experience in credit analysis, financial modeling, asset pricing, market efficiencies, right? He's a professional testimony expert, right? Or expert testimony provides it, right? But the other thing I wanted to show you is right here where it says in this that coupled with his deep knowledge in cryptocurrency ecosystem allow our experts to provide turnkey consulting testimony services across the industry. Our clients include major law firms and authorities such as the Securities Exchange Commission, Department of Justice, and so on. I really feel like, maybe we should do FOIA requests with the SEC about Dr. Albert Metz. I really believe we should see what kind of communications, if possible. I'm not a lawyer, so we'll see what goes when it comes to that. By the way, also, Coinbase being sued, really, we're going to get more into that, doing lots of research on that, and I've already kicked up, something there that I covered over the weekend, but we'll get into more of that. Coinbase class action lawsuit, which looks to be highly suspect, to be honest with you. Here we see, and I reported on some of this, but I'm just going to quickly touch on this. 55 of the world's top 100 banks by volume and assets under management have invested in blockchain companies, as have 36 of the world's top 100 listed companies, including Alphabet, Microsoft, Samsung, Intel, PayPal, Goldman Sachs, MasterCard, and others. And I did show that yesterday, so I'm not going to get into it again. There's the list there. But it's a reminder of the fact that during this uncertainty, during this lack of regulatory clarity, the banks, the biggest corporations are getting in as deep as they can right now, and that's why I am too. And that's not financial advice, just my digital perspective, but I want to share this with you. Why is the IMF so afraid of cryptocurrency? The IMF is not a neutral aid organization, but the economic arm of a vast power structure. Crypto threatens that power, and believe me, that's exactly right. A lot of people see the IMF as this, it's this neutral entity that just wants the world to thrive. I can tell you this. If there's people in it, there's some crooked stuff going on in it. Let me give you this right here. Crypto threatens the power of the IMF, even if the threat is somewhat distanced for now, Mark Westbrot says, writing for the Center of Economic and Policy Research, describes the IMF as a gatekeeper for a creditor's cartel of Western funders, also including the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank. But as El Salvador is attempting to demonstrate with its volcano bond, and as donations to Ukraine have recently shown even more dramatically, cryptocurrency is not easy to gatekeep. It seems very plausible that the smaller nations, such as El Salvador, will before long have access to parallel crypto-based debt and finance market over which the Western order has only tenuous influence. The market will certainly be small relative to the overall global banking system, but even in a small financial escape hatch could provide meaningful leverage for pushing back against the IMF and its power-driven agenda. The IMF's own actions suggest they've foreseen the possibility and they're scared to death of it. How about that? I have to say, this aligns with exactly how I see the IMF. It is not some sacred ground. I really do see this as a creditor's cartel. I mean, I just love the way they phrased that. I digress. That's another video. We'll get into it. But what I want to focus on here is think about how the world agenda from the G7, G20, right on down, is about going carbon neutral. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But look who's in line in the crypto space with that global agenda. It's Ripple. Ripple is hiring director for carbon markets to expand the business. Take a look at this very quickly here. Ripple helps global efforts to address climate change. As the world is undergoing a transfer of low carbon economy and intends to remove massive amount of carbon from the atmosphere by 2050, 50 billion Ripple is taking a stronger commitment to help deal with the climate change. Now the company is in search of a director of carbon markets for its global business development team. The hired successful candidate will be cooperating with various departments and teams at Ripple, including Ripple X, Ripple Impact, etc., according to the job description. The job duties include dealing with exchanges, DeFi, dApps, NFTs, and more. The newly hired director at Ripple will work with fintech companies, crypto exchanges, etc., focused on decreasing their carbon footprint. The vacancy is to be fulfilled in Ripple office either in San Francisco or New York as a part of the company's strategy to do with carbon markets. The job description says Ripple X is working with crypto opportunities using multiple real-world use cases. Those include DeFi, dApps, central bank digital currencies, stable coins, NFTs, and more. The hired successful candidate will be dealing with all of that as well. He or she must have deep understanding of carbon markets and have a passion for climate change, as well as be familiar with the way carbon credits and carbon markets work. Among the job duties for this top vacancy will be landing new partnerships for the company and expansion of the XRP ledger ecosystem in the carbon markets landscape. And this is where I remind you, it's already begun. This is the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Zhang or however you say it.com has been selected as a key partner of the United Nations. This is a Ripple partner, ladies and gentlemen, as preferred by the private sector counterpart to establish sustainably operate a securities exchange out of Mauritius, I believe it is. And it says down here that Zhang.com will develop a carbon credit solution on the XRP ledger for the issuance of tokenized carbon credits in accordance with the standards set by the leading industry working groups like the Interwork Alliance, a global blockchain business council initiative, and the Task Force on Scaling Voluntary Carbon Credits, of which Zhang is a member. The XRP ledger, ladies and gentlemen, right here. It's right here. This is the United Nations and Zhang.com. You tell me what in the hell's going on. I tell you, again, I think this court case is really a way of putting Ripple and XRP in the bullpen to make it look less attractive to the retail investor while they vet and audit this company and this technology through a legal case through the SEC, and ultimately providing the clarity we need either out of this case or in a combination with the U.S. Treasury and prudential regulators like FSOC and OFAC, and then eventually Congress for the entire space with some legislation that really gives us some kind of a classification schedule or something for tokens itself. I tell you, things are getting bigger, and then when you couple that with this.
One of the first banks that Ripple signed, so today we have a product in market that's, we're releasing version 4. When we launched version 1.0, which is always an exciting time for a tech company, you release a product, it's version 1.0. We launched that product, we were partnered with one of the largest banks in the Middle East, and we went to market, and we went live. And we had a call from a very upset Middle Eastern banker saying, wait a minute, people can see my transactions. I don't want people to see my transactions. So look, blockchain is powerful, and a public ledger can be leveraged to make transactions, But banks, I mean, if every SCB transaction was written to a public ledger, would SCB be excited about that? The answer is no, I'll tell you very certainly. The nature of how we have evolved our technology, yes, some of it, XRP is a public open ledger. A different part of Ripple's technology that connects banks to the liquidity solutions, these are private, think about it almost as a private temporary blockchain between two banks. It's cryptographically signing the transaction, holding it in escrow and releasing it at the same time, so you never have a situation where a transaction doesn't complete. But the point I would make is, those who espouse this idea of, look, all transactions should be open, I look at that and I think, that is not the real world. We can talk about the origins, particularly around Bitcoin, and to some of the degree other tokens, has been this idea of, hey, we're going to circumvent governments. We don't want the government involved. We're going to circumvent banks. Look, Ripple, we come at it from exactly the opposite point of view. Governments aren't going away. By extension, banks are definitely not going away. We can enable banks to enable an internet of value. If you want to enable an internet of value, you have to connect the repositories of value. The repositories of value are the banks. We want to work with the banks, with financial institutions, with payment providers, with Linlen Pay or PayPal or fill in blank, to dramatically accelerate the nature of how payments occur today and reducing that friction.
You have to work with the repositories of value.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.